Welcome to tonight's edition of Generals on Deck. I'm Chris Harris. Happy Independence Day Eve as tonight the Generals wrap up this 5-game series against the Birmingham Barons, a AA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. An exciting night here last night, a long night, the longest game of the season, 4 hours, 41 minutes. It took 15 innings, but the Generals come away with a 3-2 win over the Barons on a walk-off single by James Jones. And tonight on Generals on Deck, we have a chance to talk it over with the farm director, the Director of Player Development for the Seattle Mariners. It's Chris Gwynn. And Chris, nice to see you, of course, here in Jackson. Always is nice. I know you stayed all the way to the end last night. A long night, but a fun night.
Yeah, as long as we get the win at the end. It was frustrating at times, I'm sure, for both teams, but you get to see what the kids are made of. A lot of things didn't go our way, but at the end of the day, we were able to get a hit and win the game.
You know, last night we had the opportunity to move some runners in some certain situations, but hey, that's your job. Your job is to develop these young players and get them ready for the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy I saw it, because it's a lot better to know than to think you know. So I think what'll happen today, we'll come out here and get some bunts down, move some people around, and understand that it is important part of the game. And at this level, everybody should be able to bunt, just part of it. And I know Jim was down there just pulling his hair out, so I was walking around the stands. I couldn't sit down anymore. I was just tired of watching it. So we'll get it done.
You know, you have to keep your eyes and ears on every part of the Mariners organization, and now you have all the short season squads going, and Everett with Short A, and Pulaski in the Appalachian League, and all over the entire, even going down to the Dominican League and overseas as well. How do you keep your eyes and ears on everything that's going on?
Well, not much sleep, that's for sure. What you do, we have a reporting system that all managers and hitting coaches, pitching coaches report on their position as far as what the guys are doing, and we have a format they have to follow, and I read every report 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning before I even start the day. So I have a feel for what's going on. There's 7 teams in the States playing right now, and 2 academies, one in Venezuela, one in Dominican, and they play games daily just like everybody else. So it can be for long mornings, and you see things, you see trends. Sure. And you try to stop them immediately if they're bad, and if they're good, you kind of figure out what you did to get them to understand what we're trying to do, and keep saying it or keep doing the things that you're doing.
Oh, this is your second year in this role. I know last year you came in, you were very blind to a lot of these players, but I guess it's somewhat like that every June when you draft these new players and you have all these new players coming in playing for Pulaski or Everett or out there with the AZL Mariners in Phoenix. So getting to know these players you just drafted as well.
Yeah, it's not easy. There's a lot of film. I get to steal some of the film from the scouts, and as I go, I'll look at what they can do, what they can't do, read the reports.
Sure.
Make my own mind up when I see it, and then we like to let the kids play immediately without really giving them a lot of instruction, kind of seeing where they are, and then instructional league, winter ball, co-op, then we'll start hitting them with what we think they necessarily need to progress and get to the big leagues.
Talking to Chris Gwynn, Director of Player Development for the Seattle Mariners, and we've had 9 players from last year's club here in Jackson at AA get to the major leagues. That's a lot of guys that have already made their major league debut.
Well, now you know why I was in Jackson so often, because the guys were really good. And then not even mentioning, I don't even think Brad Miller was even in Jackson. I couldn't pull Brad Miller really until we got guys in High Desert that I felt like could hold the fort.
Sure.
And you see why, because he's everything. Leadership personified, plays hard, all the players respect him, and just tickled that he's doing so well, him and Nick Franklin.
When you hear the story of us watching his major league debut on a bus ride coming home, that to me was just so cool to see that and know the respect that his teammates have for him. That's really neat.
Organizational wide, it's amazing. Not that they don't respect Nick Franklin or Medina, who's in the big leagues as well, but Brad is just one of those guys that you just gravitate toward, and I'm happy he's doing well. Happy they're all doing well, actually. Just stay healthy, and they're getting a chance to play now. So if we keep our fingers crossed, they stay healthy and play the way we know they can.
Those 9 don't even include James Paxton, Danny Holtz, and Taiwan Walker, who Taiwan was promoted to AAA, and so far 11 innings in AAA for him. He hasn't allowed a run. I think he struck out 12. What amazing talent he is. And then Danny Holtzen going through some problems with his shoulder. Tell me about those guys, and what do you think the rest of this year holds for those guys?
Well, for Taiwan, you guys saw him here. I'm so proud of him because, it was tough for him to come back here because everybody was moving, leaving them. But I just felt him to accomplish and dominate the league, try to dominate the league and feel good about what he's doing. He needed to throw all his pitches, and from what I saw, he was. And he's throwing a changeup, a cutter, and did everything we asked. So we're very proud. Danny Holston's just having a little bit of problem with his shoulder. We're not really sure where he's at, but, he was in good spirits last night.
Right.
He just couldn't get loose, and you always want to err on the side of caution with guys like that or that kind of special ability. So, as you know, Zanino and all those guys are in the big leagues. Joe Dunnigan, who was the home run king here last year in this league, is starting to play games. He was hit in the face early April, and I think he played his second game in the AZL as a rehab last night. So. You never know. It's hard to answer today just because of rosters and numbers, but there's a chance.
One quick thing, we'll wrap this up. I learned about you today. I always learn some new things about you. You were teammates with Corey Snyder, our hitting coach, on the 1984 Olympic team. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Corey Snyder, Barry Larkin, B.J. Surhoff, Mark McGuire, just who's who of the first Olympic team. And, I think 18 of the 20 guys made it to the big leagues and had substantial careers. So they did a good job picking the squad.
Chris Gwynn, the hardest working man in the Mariners organization. He won't admit it, but I will. And, Chris, great to see you. And we got a long bus ride. You can come with us if you want to. Well,
I need to go to Salt Lake to see Tacoma. So I'm getting up on a plane tomorrow morning, and I'll see them. But good luck on that ride.
Right, thanks. This has been General Zion Dag for tonight. Enjoy the ball game. Enjoy the fireworks. And for Chris Gwynn, I'm Chris Harris, and enjoy the game.